Blitz The Ambassador's 2016 short film, Diasporadical Trilogía, imagines and creates spiritual connections between diverse artistic traditions of the African diaspora, forming constellations of Black creativity across time and space. Transportation, transit, and movement are central to the film, contributing to an aesthetic of fluid, radical potential. Blitz inscribes a diasporic cosmology inspired by Yoruba spirituality and the infinite mobility and capaciousness of Black art. Blitz draws from music, art, and spirituality from his home country of Ghana, from the Yoruba culture of Nigeria, and from the diaspora in the United States and the Caribbean, incorporating African aesthetics into the conceptual space of the diaspora. Blitz weaves his 2016 album, Diasporadical, into the soundtrack. The music is at the core of the film. Blitz divides the short film into 3 interconnected chapters in 3 settings and time periods, which are each uniquely significant and physically and politically situating the diaspora. Between each chapter, Blitz plays a few seconds of film in reverse, destabilizing linear timelines. The reversed footage mirrors the push and pull of ocean waves, creating a sense of spatio-temporal tides where everything returns to the fluid space of Black creativity and spirituality, which unites the diaspora. The frame narration connects the 3 chapters to create an overarching effect of Pan-African unity, while Blitz's soundtrack incorporates and blends different languages and auditory aesthetics of Black artists around the world. One important motif throughout the film is dance. Beginning with the soundtrack, Blitz uses dance as an embodied expression of the character's autonomy. The character's movements demonstrate joy and liberation, creating an epistemology of dance. In Chapter 1, the characters dance to celebrate Ghana's new independence, expressing joy and community through their movements. In Chapter 2, Alma dances on the street and on the train with her guardian spirit. The young girl's freedom is contrasted with her father Egun's struggle with immigration authorities. The family is constrained by borders, but she is able to move freely and joyfully within the imaginary space of liberation Blitz creates in the film. In Chapter 3, the wedding guests dance ceremonially, participating in an Afro-Caribbean spirituality that is heavily influenced by Yoruba religious practices. The celebratory dance creates and strengthens symbolic cosmological links between Africa and the worldwide diaspora.
Diasporadical Trilogía incorporates visual elements of vehicular modes of transportation to provide a representation of African immigration, spiritually connected by multi-continental Pan-Africanism. As the timestamps on screen progress, the main modes of vehicular transportation used by the 3 women regress in time of creation, from car to train to boat, emphasizing the African diaspora as an active movement that simultaneously moves forwards and backwards in time, playing into the time paradox Blitz presents in his representation of the diaspora. The car, train, and boat are visual signifiers of urban transportation throughout the film, exemplifying the communal movement that takes place during a diaspora. The modes of transportation demonstrate the spiritual connection of all 3 women as the Orishas in Yoruba spirituality, Yamaya, Olokun, and Oshun, who are connected by water just as the continents the women live on are connected by the ocean. Yamaya, the Orisha spirit of the ocean's surface, uses a car which travels upon the surface of the land parallel to the surface of the ocean. Alma's use of the subway relates to Olokun, Orisha of the ocean's bottom, as the subway train travels below sea level. The wedding guest boat relates to Oshun, the Orisha of all water, due to the boat welcoming water by being surrounded by the ocean. Blitz's outro song builds on the notion of the wedding guest as Oshun, as he mentions the Orisha after the wedding guest raises her hands upwards to the heavens in the ending scene.
Swimming in the waters that our ancestors traveled on, reflection of the light that we carry on. Oshun, Ogun, we forgotten so soon.
Blitz creates a multidimensional connection between visuals of people and transportive objects as vessels of the Orisha spirits, whose power combines multiple elements into one. Blitz utilizes the excavator tractor, a vehicle of destruction in the 3rd story, in juxtaposition to the vehicles of transportation to characterize the demolition men who try to demolish the ties of the diaspora, but fail due to the presence of the spirits, in this case, the Ibeji. Transportation also serves as a bond to ancestral spirits. For example, Amma and her spirit guide, traveling by train and using non-vehicular transportation through dance, allows her to save her father, Igun, meaning departed spirit, from being deported. The car Igun rides in exhibits deportation back to his homeland, as he goes backwards to the previous mode of transportation Yamaya used. Blitz changes the A in departed to an O in deported to maintain the historical validity of 1997 Brooklyn and illustrate spiritual interconnectedness between peoples of the diaspora.
Blitz emphasizes how changing modes of transportation can provide a framework for exploring historical narratives that enhance diasporic aesthetics. Within the first section of Trilogia, Yamaya is filmed riding an automobile with the singer who continually tries to convince her to stay with him, emphasizing his reliance upon her. The dynamics of this scene showcase Yamaya as a strong feminine authority who holds complete power over the situation and her adjacent suitor. The strong feminine presence signified by Yamaya conjures up notions of maternity, which relates to the fact that the country of Ghana was being birthed in 1957 as it gained independence. Yamaya's strong feminine presence builds when she chooses to exit the car and runs on foot away from the singer, whose reliance upon Yamaya leads him to follow her, further emphasizing her feminine authority. Yamaya running away from the singer visually symbolizes the Ghanaian independence movement being birthed mainly through the change in transportation. At first, Yamaya relies upon the car as a mode of transportation. The first automobile was manufactured in 1885 called the Benz Baton Motor Wagon, the same year the Scramble for Africa began. Colonial events such as the Scramble for Africa have been further explored by African artists like Vanessa Donzo through the use of nuanced mediums like animated shorts to advance anti-hegemonic narratives. In Blitz's work, the precision of the visual imagery increases when realizing the Berlin Conference, which initiated the Scramble for Africa, took place in the same country the Benz Baton Motor Wagon was invented, the country of Germany. Blitz provides confirmation that the scene is a commentary on decolonization, with a shot focusing on the hood of the car to reveal that it is in fact a Mercedes-Benz, reaffirming the car as a symbol of colonialism. The automobile is also significant because rubber was a huge driving force for colonizers to exploit African nations for its use in tires. Therefore, when Yamaya changes her mode of transportation from car to running, it is symbolic of Ghana seizing its independence as she liberates herself from the car, an embodiment of colonialism both temporally, regarding its date of origin, and materially, through its tires. Blitz uses a change in transportation to transcend temporal and spatial constellations to invoke motifs of liberation and independence.
Long last, Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever.
Diasporadical Trilogía specifically uses the spiritual setting of the ocean as a space to mediate all of the aforementioned symbolic travel. Blitz The Ambassador references Yamaya, a goddess of the ocean from Afro-Caribbean religions, and the Igun from the Yoruba in Nigeria, two spirits inextricably linked in this film despite their miles of physical distance. The ocean works to connect different Black communities, allowing separate geographic spaces to intertwine into a unified and malleable imaginative space, an African diasporic aesthetic. The diaspora claims a vast geographic space like the ocean because of its infinite possibilities and linkages. The most liberatory and jubilant moments in the film, ranging from the wedding ceremony to Ghana's independence ceremony, occur within feet of the ocean, establishing its power to unify diasporic connections and celebrate diasporic imaginative thought. The black and white footage of the ocean in the final scene exemplifies its ability to not only hold histories and mythologies, like Yamaya and the Abeji, but for these embodied diasporic spiritual figures to guide the entirety of the ocean through transtemporal cosmology. Blitz The Ambassador also uses the tripart nature of the film, a trilogy, to illuminate various triads like the mind, body, and spirit, history, present, and future, Africa, America, and the Caribbean, and the three zones of the ocean. Blitz cinematically visualizes African aesthetics transcending any confinements of threes, and rather creating a constellation of connecting spiritualities. Blitz The Ambassador establishes the ocean as a revolutionary infinity for African aesthetics, imaginative thought, and liberatory futures. He asserts these imagined spaces, which surpass physical and temporal borders, to be as vital as water, and therefore a life source for the diaspora. Diasporic aesthetics restore the ocean as endless nourishment for unbridled creativity and unity. To use the vast ocean, which covers 70% of the Earth's surface, is to assert diasporic imaginative spaces as the backbone of the entire world.
Blitz explores the diaspora as an inherently fluid and movable conceptual space. Throughout the film, the characters' movements transcend borders and constraints, creating an aesthetic of the dynamic and radically free potential of a diaspora.
Yeah, we say a prayer for the living. God's in the earth to reverse what we given. Swimming in the waters that our ancestors traveled on. Reflection of the light that we carry on. Oshun, Ogun, we forgot so soon. From the beating of the drum, what's the reason that we run? So we